getting it's getting weird out there. um, it's been a long time, probably a few weeks or something since I last streamed. Um, and as time passes, the obvious becomes more obvious, and shout out to the viewers. There was one guy that really made a good comment in one of the streams, pointing out something I had recently really come into deep realization about. Um, and the guy was right. What's obvious to some is not obvious to all. A guy or girl, I don't know who they were, but I don't know, man. At some point in time, pain has to be felt, and I don't know if I really don't know how to put it, cause I mean, they do everything in everybody's face. I don't know. Like, are we this hard up on apathy that we don't care when we being screwed over? Like, I mean, it's just crazy to me. But I understood the person's comment, and I understand that we all don't see the same thing. But for all of us to choose to not see, that's something completely different that I just don't like. You know, I think I'd be okay if it was like a 50-50 deal, but it's really not even a Pareto distribution. It's really like half of 1% and then everybody else. So it's a little disturbing. And I'm at the point where I'm not okay making excuses for people that pretend to be adults, because nobody makes excuses for me in any other way, shape, or form. And this is what's true. We're now alive at a point in time where literal slavery is around the corner and everybody is perfectly okay with it. And it's 2025, borderline 2026. I don't know what it's going to take. I'm not the arbiter of anything, but what I do know is what the fuck is going on and how it's going to impact people's lives. And for people to just see what's happening, because it's all blatantly happening in front of your face. Nothing's happening behind closed doors. And then the stuff that is happening behind closed doors, I promise you do not want to see it anyway. You don't. So, when does the fuckery stop? Right? When does the scamming stop? When does it all stop? And when I I, I sat here with this one website that I'm always looking at and talking to you guys about that nobody's talking to you guys about still. Oh my god. Even though it's literally the only thing that matters. There's nothing else that matters at this point in time. And I've explained this to you guys before. If you're a viewer, if you're new, you're going to get a quick lesson on what's happening in the real world of getting screwed over because you think rich people care about you scheme. We're going to get into that right here. I'm sharing the screen, and we are going to my. Oh, don't tell me it didn't share, you annoying fucker. Oh, hit the wrong button because they like inverted it. Yeah, this is a funny comment. Nobody even talks about crypto anymore. That's the reality. Everybody talks about stable coins and shit coins. That's it. Very few people are actually talking about cryptocurrency. The fact, and shout out to you guys for viewing and tuning in again. I appreciate you guys every time. Now, I just, I have to harp on this because when future generations look back on society right now as it stands, I mean, you guys got to understand, just like, people look at 1800, or just like people look backwards and think people were living backwards. When people look at our timeline, assuming it exists in some way, shape, or form in the future, they're going to definitely be looking backwards at us. No doubt about it. Because this group of human being likes to volunteer for pain. No doubt about it. I was having a conversation today with somebody that I'm working on waking up. And as you guys know, that's a process. It's a tall mountain to climb, right? But I've been doing this for decades at this point, so it's nothing to me. I know all the looks, I know all the reactions, I know all the rebuttals, all that bullshit. So for me, it's just fun at this point because my mastery of information is beyond comprehension, right? People don't understand that they don't know shit. So when they come up on a reality that they really don't know shit, no matter how successful they might be, it fucks their head up. And I'm the person that does that. That's what I do for fun. I fuck people's heads up for fun. And the reality is, is that all of these people that everybody bows down to, admires, look up to, whatever the case is, whatever the logic is for people following that specific individual. You got to know it's flawed because what evidence is there of that individual being accurate or good or great besides the follows, right? Besides people talking about this individual. I mean, in the finance space specifically, it's littered with people trying to make a name for themselves, not littered with people trying to provide good analysis. See the difference? I hope people caught the difference there. And let me repeat it just in case that's not the case, just in case you missed it. Now, in finance, I mean, this was one of the first things I learned. In fact, was to try to make a name for myself. And I just thought, what the fuck is the point of that when I'm supposed to be trying to make money? That was my original thought, but I was new. I kept my mouth shut and didn't say shit and just sat back and watched, right? Trying to learn. And boy, am I glad I never bothered or wasted my time because the end result is exactly what what happened in crypto to me specifically. I'm not the type of dude that's gonna tell you to fucking dump your load on stable coins like if like if stable coins are gonna go up or down. I don't know. I don't get the logic. But whatever. And for those of you that might be thinking I'm talking about P dial pulse chain or whatever you weirdos are thinking, I don't care about that. And I talked about that years ago. It's no longer relevant and it's no longer going to be relevant. That's on you to determine what's valuable and what's not. That world of free alpha is over. There is no more alpha. You got to make your own alpha. This whole notion of watching streamers and getting information, yeah, that was like one or two people that were actually giving you real information, and you didn't do shit with it, more than likely, which is why people are still watching crypto today. on YouTube. That's a fact, not an opinion. You guys got to understand, look at the reality of the landscape over the past 5 years. Damn near every streamer has made a shitcoin or has tried to sell you something. I've done neither. And then the things I did do, you don't know shit about because I'm not fucking promoting them other than when I need to. Other than that, you don't hear shit about anything from me because I don't want to take your money. It's not my objective. My objective is not to even earn your trust. My objective is to merely relay information because the shit is out there. And for whatever fucking reason, it's not reaching everybody. And, that was the original mission. I've updated my world view to the reality that people just don't give a fuck. And they're the reason everything is fucked up. Hold on, guys. So yeah, I mean, the logic is as follows. Crypto was meant to be the place where people had the opportunity to make the decision that's going to change their life. Because it was really just one decision to make. That's it. But what's happened is that it's just become a copy paste of traditional finance, which in many ways makes no fucking sense, assuming you understand traditional finance. And the reason it makes no sense is because if you're old enough to know the word rehypothecation or hypothecation, you might just understand what is actually going on if you think about it a little bit more. How can hypothecation and rehypothecation, which in many ways are breach of fiduciary responsibility, and I talk about that all the time, how many of your favorite food rules even know what the fuck that means? And, you guys got to realize it's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's not about being in the cool crowd. It's not about anything except having the right information that's going to allow you to make the right choices. A lot of you guys might know that over the past couple years, a few years, I've been embarking on learning how to write programs, code, software, make software, right? And what I've learned is that, you can start out with the best intentions. But if you don't plan everything out all the way through the end, doesn't matter what the fuck you intend to do because you're not going to make anything happen. Because all you're going to do is run into a roadblock. And that's how software building works. So you literally have to plan out as much, if not everything, that you can before you start even building anything. Because if anything is illogical, out of place, or just it doesn't fit, the pieces don't fit together, then you're stuck. You're stuck at a standstill, and there's nothing you can do about it except start from scratch or reassess your approach. And the reality is, very few people are willing to do that. And hell, even very few coders are willing to do that. Because when you look at the world as it stands right now in 2025, Let me know if you guys can hear me now or what it sounds like, if it's all right or not. All right, cool. Um, so yeah, crypto was supposed to be the place where people came and made the proper decision, which was to deviate from the problem, which is now a $300 billion problem just here. It's just here. Um, it's I find it interesting that you have people claiming to want freedom, liberty, happiness, all these good things, and yet they do everything and act in every opposite way. I mean, and this is what we see in the markets. People buy shit coins, they fucking behave like straight degenerates, and then they applaud themselves and pat themselves on the back as if they're doing something productive or helping themselves out in any way. Now, you got to understand that the few that are able to tackle and make those types of moves, they didn't start out being able to do that. They figured it out. But the issue with that is you then end up following people that aren't actually teaching you what they do. They're just tricking you into thinking they're teaching you what they do. But if they really were teaching you something, it would be some step-by-step outline shit that anybody could replicate. But you can't replicate shit. Let me give you guys another pro tip. If you relying on political motherfucking things to happen to let you know some shit's fucked, then you're already fucked. I could literally end the stream right there because there's nothing else to say. I keep streaming for fun because there's really no point in it. Uh, if you, the viewer, are not tuned in to what the fuck is going on by now, there's nothing I can tell you that's going to help you. At this point in 2025, going on 2026 in fucking 40 days, there's nothing I can tell you to help you. If you don't know by now, if you're not clear on what the fuck is going on by now, it doesn't matter that you're trying to learn. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. That time was literally 2020. And so many people pissed away that opportunity. I mean, the fact that people still don't know what the fuck is going on in crypto and yet they're involved every day is involved every day. I mean, that's fucking crazy. I had to say that twice. We live in the most information rich part of our timeline ever. And it's begotten the most ignorant group of people probably ever to exist. And all people can do, because this is really the kicker, this is really the best part. All people can do is pretend pretend they're a victim, pretend they're a hero, pretend they're a protagonist, pretend they're an antagonist, pretend that they're funny online, pretend that they're smart online, pretend. That's all people can do because they're so apathetic to reality that they don't even understand that they have to do something for real. I have no motivation to stream. Who the fuck am I talking to? Who is anybody talking to? Why the fuck are you talking? Who are you listening? Who's listening to you? Nothing is happening to change anything outside. Everybody thinks that talking online is some type of fucking solution, but it's not because the motherfuckers are shitting in your face. They're pissing in your pants. They're fucking slapping you with their dicks and they don't give a fuck and you don't either. That's the crazy shit, right? Because when you look outside, nothing's changed. In fact, the only change is more negative. I mean, if you keep waiting for a savior, you're going to get exactly what you got coming. Nothing. And if you don't know what that means, shit, I don't know. For the past few years, I've been trying to encourage people to step away even from dealing in crypto, you know, and even that wasn't good enough for people. People just want things to be put in their hands, in their laps. People don't want to put in the work. And sad reality is that, you know, all this time passed by and a lot of people just decided to stand still and not move and be stuck just because there's a difference between wasting time and being patiently strategic, right? And I think if you're going to make any kind of move, you got to know which is the move you're trying to make. Because now, BlackRock, uh, Coinbase, Kraken, all these platforms that crypto.com, all these bootleg entities, they're all now the face of cryptocurrency. Not shit coins, not meme coins, not tokenized assets, not digital assets. None of that. They are the face of crypto. Because when you hear the fucking faggot ass media that all you motherfuckers pay attention to and be having on your TV, that's what they call them. They call them crypto. They call stable coins crypto. And you want to know what they call that? That's called mission accomplished. Because you motherfuckers don't understand the difference between inflation and money. You like inflation because you keep chasing fucking stable coins and CBDCs and dollars and fucking fiat, not knowing that that's what the fuck you're doing, thinking that you're being smart. You're not smart. If you were smart, you wouldn't be chasing anything. Something to think about for a lot of you guys out there. Because I didn't understand that one for a while either. We live in a world where opportunity is endless and non existent at the same time because everything is in your face and hidden. So again, shout out to all the viewers. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And we got to clear something up. You got to know the difference between a meme coin and a stable coin. First of all, you need to understand that the word stable coin is kind of self-explanatory. So there should be no confusion there. Secondly, you got a better chance of losing all your money in a meme coin than a stable coin. LOL. Because stable coins aren't even supposed to do shit. So I don't even understand why people are putting money in there in the first fucking place. And that's the end of that TED talk. Because that's pretty much all you need to know. That's all you need to know. It's really that simple. So now we have 300 billion worth of those things floating around. And here's the funny part. It's really not 300 billion. You're never going to really know the number because you don't want to understand that Bitcoin doesn't have 21 million units. You want to believe that Bitcoin has 21 million units because you can't count. People in general cannot count. If they could count, then I wouldn't have to infinitely explain how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, as you know it, is not anything like that. It's fake. It's none of it is real. I've been saying this for years. And I've shown it numerous times on stream, going through the data, the chain data. Not even shit that I'm making up and fucking coding up and making a chart out of. We're talking about looking at the chain in real time, day of. We can see and scope and suss out it's fake or wash trading or cycled money, whatever you want to call it. Point is, there is no crypto market. If you're tuned into this stream, then you understand what the premise is. And it's that simple. Yeah, I don't even really got to say more than that. If you are a person that's been in tune with the crypto space for at least 2 years, you fucking have a clue if you're paying attention. Because that's the thing. We're talking about an ecosystem with a gazillion different points to offload economic power. So how can it be concentrated in one area? And I think that that's the biggest problem that normies have with understanding the potential of crypto. How else does it make sense for these fucking retards to think that 70,000 coins on one chain makes sense? These motherfuckers can't do math. They're stupid as fuck. They don't know they're the ones creating inflation on top of the Fed. So let them continue to destroy their own pockets because that's what they're doing. All it takes is one. You guys just don't understand the power in that statement in most cases for most people. You can scam 100 million people 10 billion different ways, end up with $1 billion. And all you need is for one good scam to go left one bad time. And that's all she wrote for them billion. This game over. Never gonna see a cent again. This happens in traditional finance all the time. So it's very highly likely going to happen to many people in crypto because crypto is literally full of the dumbest people in the market. Period. And all the dummies from traditional finance, they're coming over thinking that they can apply the same type of strategies. It's comical because they're going to lose so much money. It's going to be fun to watch. But hey, who's counting? Not me. And you guys got to realize whatever you thought crypto was going to be, it's never going to be because you chose stablecoins. You didn't choose money. You chose shit coins. You didn't choose money. So it don't matter what I say. It don't matter what you think. It don't matter and nothing matters. What's done is done. The choices have been made. Good luck moving forward because you will need it. Especially if you're reliant on other motherfuckers for technology and you're not capable of creating your own. Because in the 21st century, that is the skill that will be required. If you think you will be able to rely on on digital tools given to you by third parties, then you have not been listening to me at all. And you will not be prepared for the war that's coming because it's already here. And if you don't know how to code yet, ouch. Not gonna look good for you. Because time doesn't stop, and neither does evil. Only the good sits back and wait for salvation that is never going to come. Because only you can save yourself, just like only you can stop the forest fires that they purposely set off. Yeah, we're gonna kill the stream on that one. Yeah, and logic is code. You guys gotta realize 1 plus 1 is only 2. Unless you change the functionality of the base foundation of that logical system, it cannot be anything else. And this is where cardinality comes into play. So while yes, logic does count as code, you have to understand that there's different parameters even within logic, but that doesn't change the fact that 1 plus 1 is 2. But 1 plus 1 can also be 11. And this is the beauty behind math. This is why I'm I treat math as my religion. It is literally the thing I follow and subscribe to. I don't give a shit about what human beings have to say because they're not fucking worthy. All they do is fucking lie, and that's all I need to know because that's all I've seen. At any rate, I can ramble on forever, but we're going to end it on a good note by focusing on the fact that the future is bright for those who have might and for those that like to be scared, acting like they're aware. You're just a weirdo that likes to wear pink hair. Nobody cares. Y'all be easy. Catch y'all on the next stream and stay focused because you got no other choice. Peace.